DDT is a pesticide and insecticide. It is the acronym for dichloryl diphenyl trichloroethane. It was popularized in the 1940s for defending against vectors, such as mosquitoes, that transmitted human diseases. DDT was typically released into the atmosphere through agricultural use. Farmers began to use DDT as a pesticide on their crops, but some bugs became immune to the chemical. When secondary consumers ate the contaminated bugs with DDT, the birds were transmitted with DDT. Tertiary consumers, such as eagles, were also infected with DDT when they ate the secondary consumers. Thus, DDT biomagnified. DDT was more concentrated in the bodies of birds of prey and other tertiary consumers. When DDT is sprayed on crops, it can evaporate into the atmosphere and bind itself to soil. The soil can probably run off into a body of water, such as a lake. A fish in the lake then consumes DDT, and because DDT is fat-soluble, it biomagnifies. Thus, if an eagle ingests the fish in the lake that has DDT, it will contain higher levels of DDT. Birds with higher levels of DDT will cause the eggs laid by these birds to have a thinner DDT was discovered in bogs, snow, and animals that live in the Arctic and Antarctic regions, which are areas where DDT was never used. This was due to the repetition of evaporation and deposition, which caused DDT to disperse. DDT could possibly be in the nutrient cycles and is in the soil, water, and atmosphere. DDT is sprayed and left in the environment either in the hydrosphere, geosphere, atmosphere, or biosphere. The larger animals die and their remains contain DDT, and smaller animals eat their remains. A recent example of birds being affected by DDT is the Californian condors. These condors consume the corpses of sea lions, with the corpses having high levels of DDT. Because of this, the condors consumed a significant amount of DDT and caused the bird's body to confuse DDT with calcium, and caused the shell of their eggs to thin and slowly killing them off. Currently, there are no new technologies being tested to solve the problem of DDT's effects on birds. However, there are conservation projects for birds affected by DDT. For California condors, there are operations to heal the condor population by incubating eggs with low water levels. Developing countries still use DDT because banning DDT would increase mortality caused by vector-transmitted diseases. In addition, alternative insecticides are not as powerful and affordable. For an alternative solution to be possible, it needs to be effective and affordable. You have an impact, just don't use DDT. DDT is already banned in Canada, so you can't get it anymore, but some people still have DDT in their houses, so don't use it unless it is an emergency. Reporting and identifying an animal with DDT would be difficult because you cannot tell it immediately. However, if you discover a squishy, frail egg that looks like this, please call BC SPCA Provincial Call Center